In modern rugby, innovation often separates champions from contenders, but every so often a tactical move sparks debate across the entire sport, and that is exactly what happened when Rassie Erasmus and the Springboks unveiled their controversial midfield maul. What looked unusual to many fans was, according to Rassie Erasmus, never just about catching opponents off guard. It was something much bigger. It was a statement. Speaking openly about the tactic, the Springboks mastermind revealed that the move was born out of frustration with the way mauls were being officiated and was, in his own words, a form of rebellion against the current interpretation of the laws. The revelation has once again placed South Africa at the center of rugby's tactical conversation, proving that the reigning world champions are constantly searching for new ways to stay ahead of the competition. The innovation first appeared during South Africa's second test against Italy in 2025, immediately capturing the attention of players, coaches, and fans around the world. Rather than relying solely on traditional line-out mauls, the Springboks introduced a midfield variation that surprised the Italian defense and resulted in 2 tries. The move had actually been inspired by a viral clip involving Paul Roos under 14 schoolboys, showing that inspiration can come from the most unexpected places. True to the Springboks' philosophy, the coaching staff carefully studied the idea, refined it, and adapted it for the highest level of international rugby. The result was one of the most talked about tactical innovations in recent years. While the move enjoyed immediate success against Italy, its effectiveness naturally declined later in the season. By the time South Africa faced Australia and New Zealand, rival coaching teams had spent weeks analysing the footage and preparing defensive strategies. Even so, Rassie Erasmus insists the tactic is far from being a short-lived gimmick. Instead, he believes it remains an important weapon that can still create opportunities when used at the right moment. More importantly, he says its introduction served another purpose beyond simply scoring tries. According to Rassie Erasmus, the Springboks wanted to send a clear message to rugby's lawmakers and match officials. He explained that the traditional line-out maul had become increasingly difficult to execute because of the way referees were interpreting the contest. In his view, what was once one of rugby's most powerful attacking platforms had gradually turned into what he described as a dragging competition, making it much harder for attacking teams to gain legal momentum. As a result, South Africa looked for an alternative that remained within the laws while highlighting what they believed was a growing issue in the game. Rassie Erasmus explained that because conventional mauls were becoming less effective, the Springboks believed the midfield offered a better opportunity to build a legal driving formation where defenders could not so easily predict how to disrupt the attack. Rather than abandoning the maul altogether, South Africa simply changed where and how they created it. It was another example of the Springboks refusing to accept limitations and instead finding creative solutions within the laws of the game. Innovation has become one of the defining characteristics of the Springboks under Rassie Erasmus. This was not the first time the world champions had surprised the rugby community with an inventive approach. During the 2019 Rugby World Cup final against England, South Africa cleverly constructed an unusual maul situation from a line-out that ultimately earned a crucial penalty during one of the biggest matches in rugby history. That moment demonstrated the coaching team's willingness to think differently under immense pressure, and it played a role in helping the Springboks secure the Webb Ellis Cup. More recently, South Africa introduced another creative line-out move nicknamed the Twin Towers against Australia. The cleverly designed play featured a back jumper throwing the ball back to a front jumper, confusing defenders and creating attacking space that eventually led to tries. Once again, the Springboks showed that innovation is not about trick plays for entertainment but about maximizing opportunities within the laws of rugby. Every season seems to bring another tactical surprise from Rassie Erasmus and his coaching staff, keeping opponents guessing and forcing rival analysts to prepare for almost anything. Of course, every new idea attracts criticism alongside praise. Some observers questioned whether the midfield maul pushed the boundaries too far, while others celebrated it as a brilliant example of tactical evolution. That debate, however, is something Rassie Erasmus appears comfortable with. Throughout his coaching career, he has repeatedly challenged conventional thinking, whether through creative substitutions, innovative attacking structures, or detailed analysis of officiating trends. His latest comments suggest he believes progress in rugby often requires coaches to question accepted norms rather than simply following tradition. The Springboks' willingness to innovate has also reinforced their reputation as one of the smartest teams in World Rugby. Rather than relying solely on physical dominance, South Africa combines power with detailed planning, technical precision, and tactical flexibility. Every unusual move has hours of preparation behind it, and even when a particular tactic becomes less effective because opponents adapt, the Springboks are usually already working on the next evolution. That relentless pursuit of improvement is one of the reasons they continue to compete at the very highest level of international rugby. As rugby continues to evolve, discussions surrounding officiating, law interpretations, and tactical innovation are unlikely to disappear anytime soon. Yet if Rassie Erasmus has proven anything during his time with the Springboks, it is that successful teams do not simply react to change, they help create it. Whether the midfield maul becomes a permanent feature of international rugby or eventually fades into history, its impact has already been significant because it sparked conversations throughout the sport about how the game is played and officiated. In the end, the Springboks' controversial innovation was never just about scoring tries.